The 2011 Superbowl seemed to consist of the biggest advertising opportunity since last year's World Cup, albeit with some incomprehensible American sport squashed in between the important messages. We had adverts featuring Volkswagen's role in turning a youthful Darth Vader to the dark side, Audi painting Mercedes as a ruthless imprisoner of stateside blue bloods, complete with Guantanamo Bay-style audio torture.
Yes or no? It's a trap!
Nonsense, my father owned one.
Kia suggesting that their new saloon will be fought over by a mixture of gods and aliens. And some guff from Hyundai about hypnotism, with a voiceover from everyone's favourite dude.
Or feel compact, that they truly can get better mileage.
The Chrysler ad sees Slim Shady driving in a new Chrysler 200 in Detroit, passing a steaming iron fist, a building in Gotham City, a doorman and an ice skater before detouring into an abandoned cinema that just happened to have a gospel choir sing along to one of his own hits. Web snarks have been quick to point out that Chrysler is currently 1/4 owned by Italian manufacturer Fiat, who probably know as much about downtown Detroit as the average Chrysler workers know about Gino D'Acampo.
That's lovely.
Meanwhile, a hard-boiled voiceover delivered by a man who sounds seconds away from shooting someone in the head promises that Detroit is no one's Emerald City, which all seems redundant given that most of the advert seems to show Detroit as a bleak post-industrial wasteland. Nevertheless, the ad has been seen as a massive score for Chrysler as it makes its way along the comeback trail. Whether all this Motor City sheen rubs off on the new car when it's sat in a Slough-based Fiat dealership with a Lancia badge slapped on the front next year remains to be seen. The news that Tesco is to enter the used car industry has sent shudders down the spines of dealerships and lefty, liberal, sandal-wearing lesbians alike, as the supermarket giant continues its Death Star-like advance into every single area of your life.
It started, of course, because Tesco needed room to expand. For a long time they'd yearned to create a superstate which was, well, the first retail country.
So no doubt we can expect row upon row of battery-farmed Ford Focuses pumped with water and antibiotics and sold off in buy one get one free deals, while Hugh Fearnley-Whitting still conducts a one-man crusade to allow Focuses to drive up and down Snake Pass for 2 hours a day. Meanwhile, free range options could include organic Range Rovers roaming the countryside before Hugh is forced to tearfully slaughter them and pretending that we all have to make our own homemade chutneys and shoot our own pheasants.
Watch out!
Or something. Lazy, feckless, flatulent. Not my words, the words of Top Gear magazine. Well, Richard Hammond anyway, who's appeared to be on a mission to become Top Gear's most despised presenter last week, some feat, with an extraordinary blast at some harmless South Americans.
You want a Mexican car, because cars reflect national characteristics, don't they? So German cars are sort of very well built and ruthlessly efficient. Mexican cars just going to be a leaning against a fence asleep, looking at a cactus with a blanket with a hole in the middle on as a coat.
Everyone's favourite hamster immediately found himself on the receiving end of abuse from lefty liberal sandal-wearing lesbians. But also comedy giant lefty petrolhead Steve Coogan, who described him as truly tragic and a squirt at school to Clarkson's school bully. That was nothing compared to comedian Stuart Lee's onslaught performed during a routine by the stand-up in 2009, where he explains that he wished Hammond had been decapitated, blinded and set on fire during the hamster's high-speed crash.
Into a still burning pool of motor oil, but there was just enough sentience left in his spinal column for him to go, oh, that's hot, and then die.
Don't worry though, because as Lee explains, and as every Top Gear fan knows, it's just a joke.